Hi everyone, welcome. My old subscribers, you are welcome. My new subscribers, if you're just joining us for the first time, thanks and welcome. So today's class, we're going to be learning how to cut an A-line gown. So to cut this, you need this measurement. You need the shoulder measurement, the bust circumference, the waist circumference, the hip circumference, shoulder to bust, shoulder to on waistline, shoulder to hip, and with full gown length. Then you need your armhole circumference, then the sleeve length. That's all you need for this gown. So here I have the front and the back. Here is the back and here is the front. I used a hip circumference divided by 4. I added 2 inches for sewing allowance. So here for the front, that's what I did. So you divide your hip circumference by 4. Then you add 2 inches sewing allowance to it for his and allowance. Okay, so this is what I did for the front. Then I folded the front over the back. It's going to be the same measurement, but because of the zipper allowance, it's going to have zipper, the zipper allowance, and the slit. It's going to have a slit at the back. That's why I leave 1.5 inches for the. You can see the 1.5 inches away from the top, from the front. Okay. So now the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to mark my shoulder measurement divided by 4. My shoulder measurement divided by 4. But I mean, sorry, shoulder measurement divided by 2. I have 7.5. I divide it into 2. I have 7.5. I add half inch sewing allowance to it. Then I will mark my chest line measurement, which is 9 inches. To get this, you can divide your bust circumference by 6 and added 1.5 to it. So I'm going to draw a straight line to connect it. Okay. So that's mean I'll measure it here. I have 8 inches. Okay. So I'll come up. I will mark 1 inch down from here. From the shoulder, mark 1 inch down. From this place, I'm going to mark 4 inches. Sorry, I'll mark 4.5 inches. Then I'm going to connect it back to the 1 inch. Okay. Connect it back to the 1 inch. After connecting it, come to this place. Measure whatever you have there. I have 8 inches. I'll divide it into 2. Then I'll come in by half inch here. So I'm going to connect it back to this point. Then I will measure my bust circumference divided by 4. I have 11 inches. So I'll mark it here. Then I'll connect it back to the 0.5 that I first marked out. Okay. So after that, I'm going to take all. So I'll start to mark. The next thing I'm going to do now, I'll start to mark my horizontal measurement, which is from shoulder to 12, shoulder to bust, which is 12 inches, my shoulder to waistline, which is 18 inches, shoulder to hip line, which is 27 inches, then your gown length. That is all you need for now. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm start to input my vertical measurements. So my bust circumference divided by 4, I have 11 inches. So I'll mark it here. I'll connect it straight to the upper bodies, to the armhole. Then my waist circumference divided by 4, I have 36 inches. Divided by 4, I have 9 inches. Plus my sewing allowance, which is 2 inches. Please add the sewing allowance to it. Here I have 11 inches plus 2 inches sewing allowance. I told us that I added 2 inches sewing allowance to. That's what you see there. So let me take it again. If my bust circumference is 44 divided by 4, I have 11 inches plus 2 inches sewing allowance. That is 13 inches. Connect it to the upper part. Okay. So then my hip circumference divided by 4. Waist circumference divided by 4. I have 36 divided by 4. I have 9 plus 2 inches sewing allowance. I'll mark it here. Then the hip circumference I'm working with is 44 divided by 4. I have 11 inches plus 2 inches sewing allowance. Okay. So I use the hip measurement divided by 4 plus 2 inches to cut this out. I said it earlier. So I'm going to connect it straight. I believe you can see it. So the rest will just be hip circumference divided by 4 down to the gown length. So it's the same thing. This is 13 inches here, this is 13 inches here. Everything is going to be the same because it's going to have a slit at the back for easy movement. Okay, so I've connected my hip to my waist, then to the armhole area. So let's come to the neck. I'm going to use I used 4 inches for the neck width. After I finish sewing, it will come back to 5 inches. Then I'm going to use the same thing here. So I use 4.5 divided by 4.5 for the neck width and neck depth for the back and for the front only. Okay. So for the back, I'm going to be using 1 inch. I'm going to be using 1 inch for the neck depth for the back. So here is it. I'll cut it through anyway. So here is it. So I'll cut from here like this. Let me mark it at the front so that it will be easy for us to get. So just mark 1 inch down here, then connect it straight to the body like this. I'm going to cut it out. I cut out the back neckline first. So this is how it's going to look. So this is it. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to my, okay. So we have the back and the front. So I'm going to my machine, I'll fix my zipper. So here is the front. Here is the front piece, and here is the back piece. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do now is to fix my zipper to this. Then it's going to have a slit. So let me go and do that behind the camera and come and show us. I did not add the zipper to it again because I needed to add the pleats on the neck, around the neck area. So before I add the zip. So I've joined it already. I leave my zipper allowance open, can you see? Then I join it to where my slit would start and ends. Can you see? So that's what I did. Then I've joined the shoulder together. Then I measure around this shoulder. I measure it round. I measure it round. Usually you measure it from the back through the front, then to the back. Okay, this is what I did. I have 30 inches there. So I use my 30 inches to cut out a long strip of fabric. This is what I have here. That is 30 inches here times 2. So I have, this one is 13 inches times 2. This is what I have here. So I'm going to use it. I've gathered it around the neck. I'll come and show us when I finish doing it. So I've pleat my gathers around. I've gathered the fabric around the lace, the neck, from the wrong side of the fabric. I use just on the fabric. So the next thing I'm going to do now, can you see? From the beginning to the end, from the back to the front. So I'll flip it. Try to notch it round. Try to notch it to reduce bulk, okay? Try to notch it to reduce bulk. So I'll still do more. So you flip it to the other side like so. I'll go to my sewing machine and top stitch round it. I'll top stitch it round. Okay. After top stitching, I'll come and show us how it's going to. As you can see, I've done top stitching. Can you see? Can you see? This is the front. I'm done top stitching. So the next thing I want to do now, I want to add the plackets at the front to it. So this is what I cut out. I want to use 1.5 inches width placket. Okay, so here I have 2.5. This is 2.5 inches. Okay, so what I did now is I notched the center. So I want to flip it to the wrong side. I'll flip it to the wrong side. I'll flip it to the wrong side. Then I'm going to mark maybe about 3 inches upward. Okay. So where is it? I notched it out. Okay. Inside out like that. Oh, here is it now. This is how it's going to look like. So I finished sewing it and I've ironed it very well. So the next thing we are going to do now is to sew this on our lace. So I'm going to look for the center of the lace. Then I'll try to mark it. So I'll place this on it like so. I'll try to sew it inside. I'll sew it inside and I'll flip it like so. So this is how it's going to look like for a neat finish. Okay, so this is how it's going to look like. Then you sew it on it. Let it maintain the center of the fabric. Okay, so that's how you're going to sew it to the gown. Then join the two sides together. After joining, then we'll now cut the sleeve and attach it to it. Okay, so here is it. I'll fix the zipper. Can you see? I fix the zipper. So I've joined the two sides. Can you see? So you can still make this as a pencil now if you want to, but my client said he doesn't want it pencil. So I have to leave it the way the hip downward like that. But if you want to make it pencil, you can remove 2 inches from the hem of the gown, then you connect it to your hip. You do the same thing to the other side. So you can have a pencil like that, but she doesn't want it that way. So here is it. So I finished joining this. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to cut the sleeve. Okay, let's cut the sleeve. So I have the sleeve length here as 21 inches. Okay, you know we use length of 9 inches for the our armhole length. So I'm going to mark the 9 inch here now. I'll mark the 9 inch here. Then I'll mark my cap height, which is 5 inches. I'm going to connect it straight. Then I'll mark my 9 inch here also. Then I'm going to connect it back to my initial. From the angle here, I'll come up straight. I'll get whatever I have here, which is, let me show you. Mark 9 inches here. Then you measure your cap height. To get your cap height, divide your bust circumference by 12, add 0.5 to it. That's how to get your cap height. Okay. So from here to here is my cap height, which is 5 inches. So I draw a straight line by measuring 9 inches that I have here. Then I'm going to connect it like so. Then from here, I will check. If you bend it like this in a slant form. Then from there, divide it into 2. I have 10.5 inches. I'll mark it here. Then I'm going to connect it as a straight line like so. So from that point, this is my center of the sleeve. So I'm going to connect from the center like that. I'll connect like so. I'm using freehand. Then I added my allowance here. Okay. I added my sewing allowance here. That's how to cut a basic sleeve with freehand. Okay. So I added about 1.5 inch sewing allowance. You can add less if you want to, but that's how I want it. So I'm not going to be removing anything from here. This is how it's going to be. I'm going to use elastic band, or I'm going to sew a fabric around it. Then I'll use it to draw it. So you see when I finish doing that, I'll show you. So here's the sleeve. Let me try to run a fabric here. Then I'll do the rope and show us. Okay. So here's my basic sleeve. This is what I've done. So I cut the strip of fabric like this. I sew it on the wrong side. Look at it. So this is what I did here. I've already drawn a straight line here for the second one. So I've cut out a straight line 1.5 inches wide. So I'll sew it on it straight. After I finish sewing, I sew my rope. After I finish sewing the rope, then I pass it through with my this thing. Then I'm going to gather it as I want. If I want it a bit free, I can do it. If I want it more, can you see the style is already coming out already? You can do it more. It depends on what you want. That is how the sleeve is going to look like. I don't know, maybe my client will like this one here. If he doesn't like it, I'll chop it off. But I'll still put it there for now. So here is it. So this is how it's going to look like after I finish sewing. So here is it. That is the style you're seeing there. So I'll just sew it down straight away like that. So it's as simple as this. So let me continue. I'm going to join the sleeve now. So I fixed the sleeve. Can you see it? So here is the sleeve that I did the other time. And here is the second one. So we have come to the end of this tutorial. If you find this video helpful, then I'm going to import let me show you. I'm going to be fixing the button here at the center like so. So now we've come to the end of this tutorial. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, share, and follow me. Thank you. And I'll come here next time. My name is Bye.